Hello, my name is Jeroen Spiewak. I'm the music director today for the Center for Spiritual Living. This is Ben Morin on guitar with me, and we're gonna start your morning with a song about friendship. When you're down in trouble and you need some love and care, and nothing, oh, nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, and I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You got a friend. If the skies are right above you, was dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your hands together and call my name out loud, and soon I'll be knocking at your door. Just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, and I'll come running, 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 see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You got a friend. You just call out my name, as you know wherever I am, and I'll come running, 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 to see you again. Oh, winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. And I'll be there, yes I will. And I'll be there, yes I will. You got a friend.
Indeed, you've got a friend. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning.
Or good afternoon, I guess I should say to you,
Ah,
correct?
it is 1:34 here in the East Coast.
As we're getting you live from the land of Provincetown, Massachusetts, deep at the tip of the Cape Cod, correct?
The
Mhm.
armpit of the Cape, as we
The
call
armpit of the Cape. Well, all right. I thought it was out at the tip of the Cape, but is it,
You're
but
right.
Yeah.
yeah. So you're kind of the fingernail of the Cape.
Yes.
So
Yeah, basically.
exactly. Well, it's so good to see and hear and share in time with each of you and both of you this morning. You're harmonizing beautifully as always. So, Ben Marine and Yaron Spiewak, thank you for joining us today.
Thank
Thank
you. We'll be
you.
back.
Good, and I know we have a morning of James Taylor, so a lot of us are going to love that. Wonderful. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good day, or good you, wherever you may be joining us from today. I honor you and acknowledge you and welcome you. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and I'm the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. I forgot for a moment where we are. Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. And I affirm for each and every one of us that no matter where you may be joining us from today, we are each in the perfect and right space and time to come together and remember who we are as divine beings that are imbued with the pureness and the perfection and the oneness and the wholeness of the divine itself, whose qualities we believe in our philosophy, faith, and way of life include, but are not limited to, peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. And so today, as we gather together in this virtual space, may we each remember that we are indeed imbued with these and that we are all on a journey in life, and that we get to have the great, blessed, sacred opportunity to honor and acknowledge that within each other. And so on this day, September 22nd in the year 2024, we come together. And I'm so happy to have you join us, whether it's live or virtual right now, live, or from another date when we come together. So I'm going to place on the screen our welcoming slides to open our service up, and I invite you to sit back and relax if you're in a position in a space that's safe to do that, to just check in with yourself, to feel what's going on, and feel gratitude for the opportunity to share in this time together. And let's begin. And so I put on the screen our opening slide. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and our vision statement is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. What a joy it is for us to come together and acknowledge each other. You'll see on the screen a beloved being of life that says namaste in the photograph, with this lightness of being as a being with sparkles all around her, them, they, she, you, me. Let's all take a moment to anchor ourselves by moving in an act of namaste and taking a deep breath in and putting our hands in prayer position. And as we exhale, open our eyes and lean forward and acknowledge all that is out in the world of the virtual world. And just give ourselves a moment to connect to all beings of light. And take another deep breath in. And as we exhale, bringing our hands back together in prayer position, and exhale, feel that coming back to us, letting it be a reminder and an acknowledgement of the oneness of life that exists within each and every one of us. I loved that we come together, whether in person or virtually, as a community, and have for almost 35 years now, welcoming all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, all abilities. We literally stand with you and honor and acknowledge you just as you are, knowing that you're safe here. One of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes, Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Teachings of the Science of Mind, which we practice here, which is spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you, meaning that just as you are and all of your uniqueness is the perfection and the wholeness and the completeness of the divine itself. We know in our philosophy, faith, and way of life that our words have power. So I invite you to use these words that are just put on the screen together with me as we affirm loudly, we welcome one and we welcome all. As a community, we come together to acknowledge who we are as spiritual beings navigating our humanity on a daily basis. We do that by paying attention to our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, and our intention to make a difference to the best of our ability throughout the day, throughout the week, and throughout life itself. And we find ourselves, which is a perceived idea, to not measure up to whatever it is we've decided we should be, or intuitively and innately know what we should be. We have the opportunity to take a deep breath, forgive ourselves, and start again. Because once again, we're all on the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. One of the things that drew me into this teaching, philosophy, and faith and way of life is the very simple statement, and yet can be so complex in how it shows up in our life, which is change your thinking, change your life. We all have the opportunity with every thought, every action, every reaction and interaction with life itself, to change our thinking at the very micro level, thought by thought by thought by thought, and at the very macro level by creating and shifting our belief system in regards to our divinity and how we want to navigate our humanity from a place of our divinity. And then by being on this journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, it gives us the opportunity to relook, redefine, reprocess, reperceive, and re-express our divinity. Today is an opportunity for us to do that in a new way. We do that each and every Sunday morning by engaging in the ritual called calling in the light. Zoom has some new settings on it. And so today, as we engage in this calling in the light, and I have background music playing for it, if it becomes too much, I'm going to invite Travis to send me a message in the chat window and I can turn the music down. We've been having some challenges with interconnectedness of the oneness of Zoom with background music. Calling in the light. I invite you to look at the light of the flickering flame in the orb on the screen as we move into this ritual. And today we perform the ceremony, this ceremony, calling in the light, to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. That animated principle of being. The purpose of this ritual that I'm gathering this morning is to draw more conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. They're the ones I called out earlier: peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. So within ourselves and collectively, as we feel the vibration shift during this ritual, this experience, may we each become ever more aware of the light of life that exists in and as all expressions of life, which includes you and includes me. And so I'd like to share a spiritual mind treatment from Dr. Ernest Holmes. In our teaching, spiritual mind treatment is known as affirmative prayer. We believe in our teaching that two of the most powerful words that we can ever speak are the words I am, and then to be very clear on the words that follow. Here's what Holmes says, and I speak in the first person, the I am, and invite you to take it in that. I know there's a power for good, which is responding to me and bringing into my experience everything that is necessary to my unfoldment, to my happiness, to my peace, to my health, and to my success. I know there's a power for good that enables me to help others and to bless the whole world. So I say quietly to myself, there is one life. That life is God. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. It is flowing through me. Circulating in me. I am one with its rhythm. My heart beats with the pulsation of the universe in serenity, in peace, and in joy. My whole physical being is animated by the divine spirit. If there is anything in it that does not belong, it is cast out, because there's one perfect life in me right now. To anchor this in, we're going to come together and sing the song Calling in the Light. Ben and your own are going to take us on this journey. It's a call and response song. And the part that we get to sing together is on the screen. They'll alert you to that.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. I am love, I am peace in my heart. I am free, I am spirit, I am soul. All together, we are calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light of love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And so it is. Your harmony on Calling in the Light is just exquisite.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exquisite. I'm convinced we need to do a recording of different versions of all of our different musicians singing that song. I think it could be a great song to use to march for peace and to just have as recordings for everybody, right? For morning meditation and all that. There's so many, many of you do different versions depending on your mood or who you're with. And it's just so remarkable to get to bear witness to that on Sunday mornings.
We can do
So
the folk version.
Yeah, folk.
you did the what version?
The folk version. We can do the folk.
Yes. Well, there was a version when we were in person a couple of weeks ago at the building that Arne and Jason Goldstein did. It was like a love song. It was very slow, and I'd never heard it like that. It was just so, so beautiful. So I love the variations, and I love the energy that the two of you share together. You can tell that you guys have become buds.
Yes.
Right?
It's true.
You've become music companions and you've become buds, and you've also spent a lot of time performing and being creative together this summer, I'm assuming.
That's for sure. Yeah, we really enjoyed playing together.
Good. And doing your yacht rock show, right? At the
Yeah, which we're doing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing it tonight.
hmm
I'm gonna try and drag Ben to Los Angeles. Maybe one time you'll even see him in person.
Of course, we would love that. And you know, based on Ben's last performance here with you, we booked him. So we've got him solo on a Sunday, I believe in November. Is it, Ben?
I think it's October 13th.
October. So yeah, October 13th. So I knew it was coming up.
Yeah.
So good. Well, you know, Todd's going to be in LA. He says he's booked to be in person for us. So in November. So
LA,
you
probably
guys were all there. Maybe we could do a trio.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
See. So are you continuing on the James Taylor train this morning?
Yeah, we're kind of on the folk train.
Yes.
I love it. So what song do you have for us next?
We thought Fire and Rain would be a really fitting song today.
Which is James Taylor, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right, well, carry on.
Thank you. We're gonna do a little groovy treatment of it. this morning and I wrote up this song. Just can't remember who to send it to. And I've seen fire, I've seen rain, I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you one more time again. Would you look up upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stay. Just gotta see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is ending, and I wanna make it another day. And I've seen fire, I've seen rain, I've seen the sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you one more time again. Been walking my time on an easy time, back turned toward the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it will turn the way around. This hour's the time on a telephone line to talk about things to go. Sweet dreams, flying machines, and pieces along the ground. I've seen fire, I've seen rain, I've seen the sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I'd always thought that I'd see you, baby, one more time again. Gonna see you one more time again. Gonna see you, fire and rain, fire and rain. Gonna see you.
Fabulous.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you, gentlemen.
And we'll be back.
I know, we're counting the minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this morning I I'm going to, I'll back up for a second. I have been personally in moments of reflection and kind of playing with this teaching called the science of mind differently, having conversations with people like the fabulous conversation last week with Reverend Dr. Carol Carnes, and enjoying kind of old school take on the principles of the teaching of the science of mind, and also giving myself permission to look at it with a different lens, in a good way. I think it's so important for all of us to, as we've committed to being practitioners, and I mean those that engage in the practice of this philosophy known as the science of mind, also known as religious science, or even just the overarching teachings of the understanding that our mind plays a role in the experience that we have in life. Old school metaphysics is that, everything, your mind creates everything. And as much as I think that's true, I do believe we're in a part in our evolution of humanity, where we have both science to show us how critical and important both our brain and our mind is, as well as the understanding of the continuity and interconnectedness of mind, and to really engage in the simplicity of our ability to impact our life in the way that we engage in life. And then also to understand it's so complex all at the same time. Where am I going with all of this? This week, in meditation, back up, thinking of Ernest Holmes. And part of the reason I've been thinking of Ernest Holmes a lot is the Science of Mind archives and library, which has just moved to the grounds of the Unity campus. I'm Kansas, Ohio, somewhere like there. But we have a campaign right now that those that are followers of the teachings of the Science of Mind, if they're traveling the world, to take these little cardboard cutouts of Ernest Holmes with them on their travels. They're posting all over social media. Ernest is in Cambodia. Ernest is in fill in the blank. Ernest is in Paris. Ernest is in, the Seychelles, wherever. Ernest is on a journey. And I love the concept of kind of reinvigorating this. And at the same time, the whole Ernesty thing creeps me out a little bit because it's a little like making him a deity. But what I do want to honor and acknowledge is the creativity that came out of Ernest Holmes and the gift that certainly within the time that of the new thought emerging into the world in the early part of the 20th century, and what a gift it gave not only to humanity, but to all of us. And one of the things I loved so much about reading Ernest's work and following his work is that he was not ego-driven. He really wasn't. And so what's prompted me today to share with you is something I share once a year, which is not his final message, but his final message that he gave on the grounds. And it wasn't even on the grounds of Asilomar, it was out on the ocean at the sea, or near the grounds of the ocean, of the sea. And it's called the Sermon by the Sea. And it has such richness to it. And I believe that it is something that we all should listen to and hear frequently because of the call that is within it. He calls each of us individually to a new framework of how we use this teaching, and to put our ego aside and to really engage in a in-depth, almost marriage with the divine, not in some old school creepy way, but in some way of a commitment to communing with that which is within us. I want to begin, before I read the Sermon by the Sea, to frame it with our New Thought text for the day, which is from Ram Dass. And I'm sure each of you have received it. And if not, please sign up for it through our website. And Ram Dass, who's just a brilliant teacher, who's moved on to the great next dimension, whatever that is. And he writes this. And I state it today as an invitation for each of us to engage in the next stage of our spiritual journey. Don't judge it, don't discern it, don't question where, just give yourself permission to go into the next stage. He writes, within each of us, there once was a fire and rain. And for some of us, there seem as if there are only ashes now. But when we dig in the ashes, we find one ember. And very gently, we fan that ember, blow on it. It gets brighter. And from that ember, rebuild the fire. The only thing that's important is that ember. And one might argue what's important is the ability to blow on it. But what he's telling us is that it's that life that is within us, waiting for us to blow. Ernie addresses this ember within us, whether it's an ember or a flame or a fire or a tornado or an inferno. In his final Sermons by the Sea, given in 1959, so that was 65 years ago, at Asilomar, California, Pacific Groves, And he shared in this sermon by the sea his vision for the outcome of global well-being and the humans and Earth transformed by the consciousness that he had articulated as the science of mind, which was published in 1926, so almost 100 years ago. And here's the transcript of that sermon. Having had the privilege of starting religious science, I would wish, will, and desire above all things that the simplicity and purity of our teaching could never be violated. There's a purpose of simplicity, a consciousness of unity, a straight line thinking in our philosophy that has never appeared before in the world outside of the teachings of spiritual leaders and thinkers like Jesus and Emerson. There was nothing obscure in the teaching of Jesus. He just said that it's the God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Why don't you take it? He said there's nothing but God. Why don't you believe it? And he wasn't wagging his finger, by the way. He was just stirring up an invitation within. He was the last of the great Jewish prophets, the greatest line of emotional prophets the world has ever known. We also find a great intellectualism in Emerson, who never contradicted himself. He gave us the most simple statement of intellectual spiritual perception, probably that's ever been put into print. As that of Jesus, it was most simple, direct, meaningful, and feelingful. I love that. We inherit this. It would be my desire, Ernest says, that simplicity and purity and directness, that straight thinking should never depart from the techniques of our practitioners, our instructors, or of our teachers, or our understanding of our lay people, meaning all of us. It's the most direct impartation of divine wisdom that has ever come to the world because it incorporates the precepts of Jesus and Emerson and Buddha and all the rest of the wise. And I would desire that in our teaching, there should never be any arrogance, for it always indicates spiritual immaturity to me. Others will arise who know more than we do. They won't be better or worse. They will be different and know more than we do. Evolution is forward. I would say we should not build out of the body of our simplicity and grandeur and beauty other creeds loaded with superstition, a fear of the unknown, and a dread of the unseen. We've discovered a pearl of great price. We've discovered the rarest gem that has ever found setting in the intellect of the human race. Complete simplicity, complete directness, a freedom from fear and superstition about the unknown and about God. And we've rediscovered that which the great, the good, and the wise have sung about and thought about. The imprisoned splendor within ourselves and within each other, and have direct contact with it. Love that statement. I'm going to read it again. We've discovered that which the great, the good, and the wise have sung about and thought about, the imprisoned splendor within ourselves and within each other, and have direct contact with it. Whether we call it the Christ in us, or the Buddha, or Atman, or just the child of God, the living spirit, makes no difference. You and I are witness to the divine fact, and we have discovered an authority beyond our minds, even though our minds utilize it. Out of this, we have prepared ourselves, I think, I hope, I pray, and I believe this. Find me one person who has for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough to condemn others out of the burden of their soul, and I will find another Savior, another Jesus, an exalted human being. And I invite you with each of these find me's to ask yourself if there's something here that you are attuned with or would like to be attuned with. Find me one person who no longer has any fear of the universe or of God or of humanity or of anything else. And you'll have brought to me someone in whose presence we may sit, and fear shall vanish as the clouds before the sunlight. Find me someone who has redeemed their own soul, and they shall become their redeemer. Find me someone who has given all that they have in love without morbidity, and I will found the lover of my soul. Is not this true? Because they will have revealed to me the nature of God and proved to me the possibility of all human souls. This is what religious science stands for. I'm going to read those find me's again for us and hear it in the context of this is what this teaching stands for. For you and I have within us the possibility to be each of these people he speaks of. Find me one person who is for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of their soul, and I will find another Savior, another Jesus, an exalted human being. Find me one person who no longer has any fear of the universe or of God or of humanity or of anything else, and you will have brought to me someone in whose presence we may sit, and fear shall vanish as clouds before the sunlight. Find me someone who has redeemed their own soul, and they shall become my Redeemer. Find me someone who has given all that they have in love without morbidity, and I will have found the lover of my soul. Is not this true? Why? Because they've revealed to me the nature of God, of the divine, of source, of the thing itself, and proved to me the possibility of all human souls. He goes on to say, this, my dear ones, is what religious science stands for. It's not a new dogmatism. It's not a new authority generated from a new alleged revelation of the God who never revealed anything to anybody as such, else it could have not revealed all things to all people. There is no dispensation of providence, but there is a specialized dispensation, which is the great and good and wise and just have known, even though they knew it intuitively. I invite you to connect with yourself of the first time you knew this intuitively and the many times since then, and invite in for yourself the many more times to come. That is what a spiritual awakening indeed is. He goes on to say, find me one person who can get their own littleness out of the way, and they shall reveal to me the immeasurable magnitude of the universe in which we live. Find me one person who knows how to talk to God, the divine, really, and I shall walk with them through the woods, and everything that seems inanimate will respond. The leaves of the trees will clap their hands, and the grass will grow soft under them. Find me one person who communes with cause and effect, and in the evening star will sing to them, and the darkness will turn to light. Through them, as the woman who touched the hem of the garment of Christ was healed, shall I be healed of all loneliness forever. Imagine being healed of loneliness forever. He's saying there is that within us, waiting to be acknowledged, that will respond to us just as the leaves on the trees do. But it's about us being open to it. He goes on to write, find me someone who is no longer sad, whose memory has been redeemed from morbidity, and I shall hear laughter. Find me someone whose song is really celestial, because it's the outburst of the cosmic urge to sing, and I shall hear the music of the spheres. Find me one person who no longer doubts, no longer wavers, but not one with a proclamation of superiority says, look at me, I've arrived. I won't listen to that. He goes on to say, only that which reveals me to myself can be a message to me. Only that which gives back to myself can save me. Only that which leads me to the God within myself can reveal the very God itself. And only that person can do it to whom the vision has come through their own efforts, through the gift of the God, the source, the thing itself. Of course, the grace of God abounds by divine givingness, for God has forever hung itself upon the cross of humanity's indifference. God has forever, but without suffering, given itself, but we've not received the gift. He's telling us today is the day. So he goes on and says to me, find me one person who has so completely divorced themselves of all arrogance, and you will have discovered for me an open pathway to the kingdom of God here and now. And up until now, he says, the search has been in far off corners of the earth, and we've knelt upon a prayer rug and been wafted away in our morbid and fearful imagination over ethers of nothingness to places that have no existence, the temples of our unbelief. And we've come back empty. Why? What went ye out into the wilderness for to see? He says, well, then find me someone who has detached their emotional and psychological ego from the real self, without having to deny the place it plays in the scheme of things, and without slaying any part of themselves, because the transcendence is there also. And I will have discovered the ineffable in the individual and a direct pathway for the communion of my own soul. We've come together to Asilomon, that destination, spent this wonderful week together in love for other and adoration for the God we believe in. Many wonderful things have happened that would seem miracles if we didn't know about them. And now we meet for this fond farewell after the spiritual bath of peace and the baptism of the Spirit. Not through me, but you to me, and I to you through each other. The revelation of the self to the self. We go back into the highways and the byways of life, and with something so great that never again will anything be quite the same. And then a little more light shall come, a little more glory added to the glory that we already possess, a deeper consciousness, a higher aspiration, a broader certainty of the mind. And then he goes on to tell us this which I love. And I want you and I to hear it. You, he says, are religious science, the practice of the science of mind. I am not, he says, as the founder. I'm only that who puts something together. I did not even take myself seriously, but I take what I'm about doing seriously. You are religious science. Our ministers, our teachers, our practitioners, our lay. You find me 1,000 people in the world who know about this teaching, is and use it, and live as it is, and I'll myself live to see a new world, a new heaven and a new earth, There's a cosmic power wrapped in a cosmic consciousness and purposelessness that is equal to the vision which releases it. What I'm saying is this: there is a law that backs up the vision, and the law is immutable. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. There's a power transcendent beyond our needs, our little wants. Demonstrating a dime is good if one needs it, or healing oneself of pain is certainly good if one has it. But beyond that, at the real feast of at the tabernacle of the Almighty, in the temple of the living God, in the banquet hall of heaven, there's something beyond anything that you and I have touched. Find 1,000 people who know that and use it, and the world will no longer be famished. How important is it that each one of us, in our own simple way, live from God to God, with God, in God, and to each other? That last statement is what this entire sermon is about. It's what you and I are being called to do today and tomorrow and the next day, and to consciously be a part of what he calls 1,000 people. It's more than 1,000 people. It's a movement of that which is deep within us that knows why we align with this teaching. That there is something beyond what you and I have ever will touch. And yet, all that we want to do is to commune with it, be with it, and indeed to touch it. And it's waiting for us to do our best to touch it. He says, find 1,000 people who know that and use it, and the world will no longer be famished. How important is it that each one of us, and this is what I invite us to commit to today, in our own simple way, shall live from the divine to the divine, with the divine, in the divine, to each other. It's why we're here. And we are taking back with us, meaning from this moment on, I trust, a vision and an inspiration, something beyond a hope, and a longing that the living Spirit shall walk through us anew into its own creation, and a new glory come with a new dawn. That new dawn is here, waiting for you and for me to call it into expression. Today, I trust and hope that the sharing of the sermon by Ernest Holmes that was imprinted in the soul of those who've heard it and everyone that's heard it since then, and it was heard in person in 1959, that we use it as a clarion call, both for us individually to engage and embrace in the Spirit divine, the Almighty, but then to share it and honor it and acknowledge it within each other in a new way, and to engage in this light in a new way and the glory that comes with it. And to no longer live in any sense of famishness or fear or frugality, and to accept the role and the responsibility that we have in how we use the simplicity of our mind. We shall end as we began, honoring the ember. As the great Ram Dass tells us, within each of us there was once a fire. It's still there. And for some of us, there seems as if there's only ashes now. I know each and every one of us can relate to that. But today's the day to dig, as Ram Dass tells us. When we dig in the ashes, we find an ember. And very gently, we fan that ember. We blow on it, and it gets brighter. And then from that ember, we rebuild the fire, the light Holmes speaks of. And the only thing that's important is the ember, and that we blow on it and it comes to life. and it's from that life we indeed light the pathway anew. Namaste. Thank you. And so it indeed is. Ben and Yaron shall come back and enlighten us with a song.
So the next song is kind of special. This is the song where I usually explain how to say my name, which is your own. Obviously, you know that. And it's also one of my favorite messages. Make your own kind of music. Are you gonna make? Let's make your own kind of music.
Yeah.
I know it's corny. Sorry, everyone.
Nobody can tell ya there's only one song worth singing. They may try and sell ya, 'cause it hangs them up to see someone like you. But you gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. You're gonna be knowing the loneliest kind of lonely, and it may be rough going, 'cause just to do your thing's the hardest thing to do. But you gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. So if you cannot take my hand, yeah, and if you must be going, I will understand. 'Cause you've gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along. You gotta make your own kind of music, sing your own special song, make your own kind of music, even if nobody else sings along.
Hope we made
What kind of music?
the right kind of music, not the
Yes.
wrong kind of music.
It was the right kind of music. Hold on just one second.
Okay. We can play. Let's play.
I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, you're back.
All right, yes. It's the right kind of music. And I love that it reinforces exactly what the end of the message said, right? Sing
Yeah.
your own kind of music. Sorry, my camera's off. Thought it was on. Play your own kind of music and share it with each other, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we can do. You can go your own way.
Oh my god.
Oh,
See what I did there?
and it's no matter where you've been.
Exactly.
Oh no.
I love it. Well, I know you've got one more song for us. I'm so excited about that, and know that we are thinking of you while you are doing yacht rock this evening.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you.
so happy to see the two of you together again,
Yes.
and hopefully we get to see both of you in person, not too far off. So I know you're going to be back you'll be in town October 20th. Your own,
Yes.
right? So fabulous, fabulous. All right, see you in just a minute.
See you in a minute.
Sorry about that, everyone. In the midst of my, in the middle of this, my doggie, not the one in the painting, but the other one, who's normally at her aunt's. We call him Auntie Roger every day on Sundays. She got returned briefly today, so I was managing that. She came running in while we were all here. Anyway, what a great day. And I trust to know that it's been one where we all have found inspiration in a multitude of ways today. So thank you all for being here. I want to remind you that we deeply appreciate your support of our community financially, and you can support us by going to our website, csl-la.org, or you can go to the app in the App Store. And in both of those locations, you can find ways to electronically support us, as well as to mail in a check if you'd like to do that. To our location at 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California. We'd also like to invite you just to be aware of something, that we can do Venmo or Zelle, if that's easier for you. There's no fees attached to Zelle, so we'll figure that out and know that we'll support you supporting us in that way, as well as if you do use PayPal, which we deeply appreciate all contributions, there's an option there to pay the PayPal fee. And we would invite you, if you feel so compelled, to add on that $1 or $2 or 50 cents to pay that, which supports us in staying as growth oriented as possible. A big thank you to all of you for being here today. A thank you to Yaron and Ben for joining us from afar. A thank you to Travis Smith for doing our wonderful audio and keeping us all in line on that, and to Robert Hensley, and thank you all. I want to let you know that next Sunday, I will be back in the Center for Spiritual Living, Granada Hills, at the final Sunday before Reverend Dr. Mike returns from his surgery and his illness. So we will be streaming live, but just like the last time, we'll send links out to you to stream through their service. So pay attention to that throughout the week to know that that's what to do. And unless you're here in LA and you'd like to join us in person, take a little drive out to Granada Hills. It's not a long drive, and come join us at 10:30 in person at the Center for Spiritual Living, Granada Hills. So next Sunday, we won't be in this format, but we will be live through Granada Hills. And Robert will come on in Zoom next week, and make sure you have the link if you forget that. So just know that's the case. All right. And we were back in person October 20th. And I believe that's that. So yeah, let's do that. So Yaron and Ben are going to come back on and take us through our closing song, which is "Let There Be Peace on Earth," and "Let It Begin with Me." And then after that, if we're on Zoom, we can hang on and say a brief hello to each other. You gentlemen ready?
Yes.
I affirm for each of us, peace indeed begins with each one of us. Today is the day a light has been sparked and illuminated, turned into an ember, and we blow on it, if you will, to bring it alive, and we let it become the light that we shine out into the world today. Have a fabulous Sunday. Look forward to seeing you all next time around, and peace out.